And good evening. We have plenty to talk about, but before we do that, the young man that you see in the screen as we open up this program was Vince Young. If you don't know who Vince is, he is the GM and the coach of the North Las Vegas Kryptonite. Over the weekend, he was involved in a serious automobile accident where he had emergency surgery. He's out of surgery, and the recovery process now begins. As you see, there is a GoFundMe that is started. Anything that you can to help him and his family. And knowing some of his family members personally, I know they are very strong, faith-praying folks. So we dedicate this program to Vince Young, and hopefully somebody from his family is watching, and we just want Vince to know we're thinking about you, we're praying about you, and you don't have to go through this recovery alone because we got your back. With that said, welcome to the 42nd Ronnie Lott episode of The Other Side of the Ball. Once again, filling in for Casey Cox. I'm Steve Rogers. No, I'm kidding. I'm AA Anthony Alvarez. It's a three-man show.
Ron Burgundy.
It's a three-man show. Joining me once again is Mr. Derek Duncan, who wears many hats on the A7FL Nevada. And, of course, Chris Vera, the division manager. So,
what's up, y'all?
Gentlemen, how was your 4th of July? How did you celebrate Merck's birthday yesterday?
Caressing my dog. Making sure she didn't freak the hell out. She was shaking in the corner all night. We had every TV in the house turned up as loud as possible, every radio in the house turned up as loud as possible so we could try to distract her, but it's drama, man. Unless we got a party going on at the house, we literally have to watch the dogs the entire time. So I hate it when the 4th falls in the middle of the week because I can't have a party and then expect to get to work the next day. So
that is rare that it's on a Tuesday. I can remember the last time it was not on a Monday, but, you know, I guess it's the part of the counter. Chris, how was your holiday?
Wasn't bad, man. Chilled out at the house, had some drinks, some friends over, and actually the kids. So just spent the day in the pool. So it was a lot of fun. But I will say that Vince wasn't too far from my mind. So prayers out to him and his family.
Definitely. Once again, at the top of the program, we're mentioning that, as you see, once again, there is a GoFundMe. Anything that you have can help. Again, like I said, we dedicate this program to Vince and let him know that he is thought about, he is not forgotten, and we're praying for you. So one thing about Vince, he would always, during the season, during the broadcast, he would always come to the booth and make sure that we were okay and always brought us food, brought us drinks, making sure that we was all right. So the least we can do is just to let him know that, hey, we haven't forgot about you and we're thinking about you, buddy. So
don't you hit the GoFundMe with $2 for them Gatorades he hooked you up with.
No, I'm not. You know what? It's because I'm light-skinned, isn't it?
Right. Look, well, I mean, let's be serious. Anything y'all can do to help, $1 or $2, whatever it is, every little bit helps. A bunch of us have already dropped some money in there. I'm sure there'll be some other people helping out. Somebody through me also threw in $200 and asked to remain anonymous. So it's starting to flow into the account, but they're still less than 50% of what their target was, according to MG in our conversation this morning. So on all seriousness, please help out where you can financially, and if you can't, please like and or share to raise the profile of the post so other people get a chance to see it and see if they can help out a little bit.
Well said. So this is an actual football show. We are going to talk about football, so forgive us. Our hearts are a little bit heavy, but there is a conference championship game, 2 of them to talk about, and we're just going to get right into it. So how do you guys feel about this upcoming game between the Nightcrawlers and the Watchmen? Considering the fact that the Watchmen have, been consistent, they've been playing, and the Nightcrawlers have, in a sense, had themselves almost a 3-week break. How do you see this matchup coming into fruition?
Well, to start, it's very interesting that there won't be a team from New Jersey in the championship game.
It really is.
Period.
It really is.
So there's been a lot of talk that the Northeast Championship is actually the championship, and there was only one team specifically out of Baltimore this season, and they had the number 1 spot for a while this season. They had one loss to, I think it was BIC early in the season, and BIC, of course, got knocked out by the U, and then BIC knocked out the U, so they're the last man standing. But now they get to take on the beast from the Southeast and the Nightcrawlers, who is a very unorthodox, very talented, basically a flag team that knows how to hit and knows how to stop from getting hit. So it's really, really hard to pit them against one another because the styles of both, it's going to be like a puncher versus a boxer, and it's going to be a very, very strange game, and I am super happy that I'm going to be there to see it live, so I can, break down their gameplay live and not have to worry about film and cameras missing stuff, and actually get keys from that game. Should the Insomniacs move on past the chaos, which they will, and get them prepared as best possible through my analytic eye for the upcoming game in the championship. So that's my primary focus. But the styles, as we all say, styles make fights.
Yeah.
This is going to be crazy good style because the athleticism on both sides of the ball is very, very strong. I would give the Nightcrawlers the edge there, but of course the Watchmen have the edge on experience and strength. So I guess it all depends if you like fast and loose or strong, hard nose, run the ball and try to break people down.
I'm glad you didn't say tight.
No, I was going to say fast and loose or high and tight. I'm the only one high and tight here.
So, taking a look at this thing, in reality, I mean, if what I was hearing, so I was listening to another podcast and I was listening to the guys talk, and one of the things that was brought up was that the Watchmen beat the Nightcrawlers by 1 point at some given time in the past. And when they were asked, so who's going to win the game? Of course, Nightcrawler said, we're going to beat you by a point, which I thought was kind of hilarious.
Right.
But two good teams, two physical teams that I think can play and bring a different style to this. My thing is like Derek, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be watching that game. What I'm looking for is what I always look for, trench play. I want to see what they have and how they go up against each other, what they bring to that trench play. It was interesting to listen to him Watchmen talk about DRC. So, and their thoughts on him. And it was, well, we're just going to run straight at him. If he wants to make a business decision, let him make a business decision. If he wants to run away from it, he runs away from it. I don't know how to perceive that because I don't know what we're going to get from him going into this game.
Did you see any tailbacks that were like that on the Watchmen watching their film? I mean, most of their runs were by the quarterback.
Yeah.
So they're going to run right at him. I don't know if they got a big back and we just haven't seen all their film because I've only been able to see like 1.5 games myself.
I've seen 2, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's interesting going back to watch some of the games that you thought, oh, we should be able to pick these up because of what they've played, and they're not there anymore. So, and that's on YouTube. So trying to go back and see some of their games, some of their earlier games, just was, you couldn't do it. So what I watched was their game that they played recently against the U. So look, bottom line is I'm not going to take anything away from the Watchmen. Watchmen are a damn good team. They know what they're doing. They know how to play.
They tackle very well.
Yes, they're not one of those guys that are one of those teams that miss many tackles, and they're going to bring you down. And it's just going to be interesting when you see that level of athleticism versus a good tackling team. What are they going to be able to do?
So let me ask this: if you're the Nightcrawlers, given the fact that the Watchmen do have a 2-quarterback system with Goss and Buck, how do you prepare for that? What's the defensive strategy? Say when they're switching possessions. What's your mindset?
I know for me, whenever we played a team with 2 different quarterbacks, especially 2 different styles, we basically wanted to be ready for both because you don't know who's going to start. You don't know when the second quarterback's coming in and when they're going to switch them out. So you kind of want to have your line ready and prepared for both quarterbacks. Does that make it a little bit more difficult? Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I mean, you're kind of looking at the way you're going to rush a quarterback that, let's say, is a pocket passer compared to somebody who can run the ball. So you've got to be able to stay in your lanes. You've got to be able to play discipline, and you've got to be able to make sure that you're ready for that run. So it's a little bit, it's quite a bit different depending on the quarterback and his athleticism.
Yeah, for me, for both quarterbacks, I'm rushing 2 up the middle and spying on the sides so that I flush whatever quarterback out of the pocket. I don't think Buck has the moves to get out of the way of of a fast rush from the A and B gap, right? Where the other Ace Boogie, I think his name, the other quarterback has the ability to run out wide, and if you got spies on the side, you should be good. So I like two up the A gap, drop guys back on the side, or run them straight up the sideline so that they're not crashing on the quarterback. So that if he does roll out, somebody's there. But you got to have the right personnel to do that. I don't know if Tampa Bay across the front end does. So that it's kind of, again, because we haven't seen very much film on these guys in a competitive game to know what they actually can pull off from the D-line position. I know they have a beast in Henderson at the linebacker position that can probably convert and do that rush, but chances are they'll send 2 or 3 and drop Henderson to spy to see what happens. And if Ace is in the game, who's the better runner, and he takes off, Henderson is probably going to be every bit as fast as him and be able to track him down, where OG Buck is going to suck Henderson up and try to dump it off, a la the way Huff plays traditionally. You know, he's kind of like a Huff light, a guy that's got a little bit of speed but has a lot of trickeration, where he's always eyeing people left and right of him for a quick pitch, or have somebody set up in a screen, or have somebody set up in a quick out, and or a quick slant. So with Henderson playing the middle, he's going to have to key on a lot. He's going to have to be the quarterback of that defense and keep them honest on both those quarterbacks.
Well, you know, it's an interesting thing too, and I was kind of thinking about this when you were talking about it, D. When you're talking about the quick pitch, I mean, I know they like that. I know they like to play that game. My curiosity is, do you, with the athleticism that Watchmen have, for me, it would be more of the fact of sending 2, like you said, and then anybody who's playing off to the sides, look for that pitch, look to intercept that pitch, because that is something that they're willing to try. And so, is it possible to get the turnovers from the pitch of the ball?
Yeah, especially with a team like the Nightcrawlers, who come from a flag background.
Exactly.
Right? The majority of their ballers play flag. They understand what that pitchy thing looks like, and if they know how to work it, you can defend it very well.
Yep.
But it's when they're 7 yards past the play, and no one's thinking about that pitch when it gets dangerous, right? And,
Agreed.
And Buck and Huff both are very, very good at that. And Buck is really, really good at setting people up and letting you see something that you know you're going to key on next time. And as soon as you key on, he hits you with the counter for that. That's been the game that I've seen him play on the film that I've seen both here and last season. But who knows what they're going to bring today, and who knows what the Nightcrawlers are going to bring. But I feel like the Nightcrawlers have more athleticism and are going to try to out-athletic these guys. And that could work, but can it work for 4 quarters? The same way we talked about the Insomniacs. Like, look, I understand you've got all this talent, but do you have the depth to keep up with this for 4 quarters?
Yeah, and that's the question mark.
Yeah, and I think they're traveling light. From I understand it, I think I heard they're traveling 25.
Who is?
The Nightcrawlers.
Nightcrawlers are.
I think the Watchmen are bringing all 35.
Damn.
So that possibly could play a factor. So do you expect this game to kind of be like tale of 2 halves, or do you expect it to be a close game? Because, well, let's just see how we got here. So the Watchmen got here with a 6-1 regular season record, averaging 42, almost 42.5 a game, only giving up 10.5. And then their playoff run, a close one against Cin City, won by 8, and then shut out the U in the second half of their game, averaging 30 for the playoffs, giving up 16. Of course, the Nightcrawlers only played 4 regular season games, didn't lose, averaged 31, give up 10. So both defenses seem to be very stout if you're going off averages per se. Only 1 playoff game, blowout. So obviously it's an inflated 84-point average. So what kind of a pace of game from your perspective you think you guys are going to see?
Well, I'm going to put it exactly on what we saw last playoff, in the Elite 8 of the playoffs last season. We had the Nightcrawlers, who were playing the Rare Breed at that time, and the Watchmen are made up of a combination of a Rare Breed and another team. And in that game, it was medium scoring. I think the final was like 23-21 or something like that. And most of the points, they were spread out over the entire game. And everyone talks about how the game ended and that the Nightcrawlers gave the game away, right? So Nightcrawlers are coming back with a little more talent after adding DRC. Who knows who they lost in the offseason, because we couldn't really get eyes on them last season. They didn't have the same tape that everybody had. We know what the Watchmen did. They took the very best that the Rare Breed had and then added some other great players. Like literally the top players from Baltimore are now on this team. Similar to what the Insomniacs put together, if you were to take the Insomniacs and the top players from Sick With It and put them on that game and put them on that team, that's what the Nightcrawlers look to be as a Maryland representative or Baltimore representative. So based on that, I believe the Nightcrawlers' athleticism and depth has increased, and they have gotten better, and the Watchmen clearly have gotten better and increased their level of play. I expect a similar style of game that was played last season in their playoff game.
For me, I think looking at the overall, I think what we're going to see is two teams that have a little familiarity with each other. But I think when it comes right down to it, you're probably going to see, my guess is, first quarter, kind of a feeling out to see where everybody is and what their capabilities are before we start to see plays called. I think that's going to be the first quarter. Second quarter, I think they're going to dive a little deeper. Third and fourth quarter, I think that's when we're going to see everything kind of let loose.
Right? Expect a grind for the first quarter, right?
Yes.
Just like a boxing match. Everyone like sizing each other up, feeling each other out.
Tries to establish the jab.
Yeah.
Yep.
Second, third round, like, okay, I've been setting this up for a full quarter. Let me see what I can do, and let me suck you in, hit you over the top, or let me spread you out and get a counter up the middle or a dive up the middle where you're not paying attention.
So one thing we noticed last game with the Watchmen is their ability to stretch the field and go vertical, which they hit a couple of plays to even score for a touchdown.
Well, it was more horizontal, but yeah.
Yeah,
I got you.
I'm trying to get my Al Davis on top about the vertical passing game and
Right.
football, but the Watchmen look to stretch it downfield. So if you're the Nightcrawlers, considering that you have DRC that is practically seeing everything you possibly can see in football, would you play him up high, or would you play him man?
Now, if he's got the capabilities that I thought he had when he played in the NFL, I am making sure that he's just locked up with their very best receiver and making sure that guy never sees the ball. When you've got a lockdown corner, if you can cut off a half of the field or cut off one side and let everyone else play a little bit of man zone, that changes everything. Like the reason why the Cowboys and Niners were so good when they had Dion is their defense could then tee off or
On
just
everybody else.
cover the other side of the field. Same with the Skins when they had Darryl Green. Like those types of defenses are set up to ruin people's days. And like, look, you throw it over here is getting picked, and it happened quite a bit. I don't know if the RC still has that talent, or if Ace or OG Buck have the ability to get it out over the top and hit a timing route like that, where you can affect somebody like DRC and get him out of his game. But if they do, I mean, like Chris said. They said they're going to attack him. That's what I would do. I would immediately hit a bunch of quick slants right in front of this dude, get him trying to suck up on the ball and cheat, and then hit him with a double move and watch him sweat.
Either that or run right at him. Make him make that decision on how he's going to play the run.
Look for contact.
Well, the thing about it is when you see some of these guys, when we've watched games and we've watched corners make business decisions, the fact of the matter is, like Derek was saying, do we see anybody from the Watchmen that's a big guy that can run straight at him? I don't know.
Well,
I really don't
Corey
have that
Hannon
answer.
actually made a statement that there is a guy named Omari something or other. I think Omari Thomas, if I'm not mistaken. And I've heard his name before. I didn't jump out on film for me from the film that I have been watching, but there's a guy like that who historically has those capabilities. So if they can set it up to run right at the corner and whatever side he's on and try to put some pressure on him, that's a great move.
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, if you can put some big guys on a corner, you're going to wear them down a little bit, right? And if you're consistently doing that with pressure, we got to see where that goes. I'm not saying that he's not going to be able to stand up against it. All I'm saying is you don't know what that's going to do to his game and what he wants to play. Because I think DRC is a little bit of finesse. I don't think he's the
Physical type.
Yeah, I don't think he's always that stick his nose in there to make sure that you understand he's here. So I'm wanting to see what they do as well. I want to see how they attack him to make it different for him.
We'll go back to the comment I made earlier about fast and loose, right? I expect the Nightcrawlers to give a little space to make people think that they're open and then try to attack the ball. Goat people into throwing the ball, try to get a pick. They play a version of backyard football that is the fun version of backyard football, not the backyard fundamentals like we've talked about on previous episodes. I expect that fast and loose kind of play from them on both sides of the ball. We know they're going to do it on offense. They'll probably try it a little bit on defense too if they feel like they got the upper hand and they've got more athleticism. But if they're small, that'll hurt them. You put those big bodies that can move out there, they will start wearing your ass out.
Well, it'll come down to that. Also, turnovers is a big factor, as it always is in a football game. Who can control that? And of course, that little magical thing that is the 3-on-1 return. Can a possible 3-on-1 return be the difference with these two teams? It remains to be seen. Do you have a prediction of who you think might go to Bullhead representing the East?
You looking at me? You want me to go first?
I'm just putting out
Just putting it out there in the world.
I'll
I'll go ahead and go first.
Okay.
I'm going to piss everybody off, and I'm going to say I'm going with Nightcrawlers.
Mm.
And the reason why I'm going with the Nightcrawlers is I want to see what a revenge game looks like, and I think that's the way they're taking this. And it's no disrespect to the Watchmen whatsoever. It's one of those things of sometimes a revenge game can mean everything to that team. The only thing that I've seen in revenge games in the past is usually you blow your load on that game, and then the next game isn't exactly what you want it to be.
Either that, or they're so filled with adrenaline they can't control their composure, which we have seen before.
Yes.
So I mean, I get what you're saying. I get where you're going, but that would be my concern for the Nightcrawlers. Is okay, you're so amped up to where you have to understand this is still football. This is still a game. Still.
Well, I don't think it's going to be that deep. I think that what they're trying to do and what they're trying to understand in this is, what I've said in the past is that we've seen some East Coast bias. I don't think that's it in this game. I think what the difference is going to be, as I've said plenty of times in other games that we're going to be close and we knew we're going to be close, it's going to come down to special teams. And the question mark is who has the better special teams players, on the 3-and-1. I think that when it comes right down to it, for this game, field position is going to be key. And I think the players that have the best returns and the guys that can put their teams in positions on the field is going to make a difference.
I don't disagree with that.
Well, good. I disagree with you both.
Cool.
So I feel like this game is going to be very much like last week's game for the Watchmen. That's going to be a close first half and a blowout the second half. I think that the number of guys they're traveling versus their size versus what the Nightcrawlers are going to have to do on both sides of the ball and how they're going to likely go at Henderson and keep him busy the whole game. By the third or fourth quarter, I think it's going to be too much. There's going to be too many big bodies, too much speed and meat that they're going to have to try to handle, and they're going to wear them down, and the attrition will push them off the field. And I got Watchmen by 14-20.
Damn, he said meat.
Meat. He did say meat. And if the Viking was here, he probably would go off to the Rainbow Bridge to combat with something. Of course, when you think about a Baltimore football team, you think about 1, defense, 2, physicality, and just sound gap tackling. And you see that watching the Watchmen. You saw that 2 weeks ago against the U, to where the U cannot do their normal game plan, which is control the clock.
Yeah, as long as those gaps are at the line.
Yeah.
Downfield, it was making business decisions. So.
Yeah, well, they do that sometimes. But
I don't see a team that isn't doing that in this league so far.
True.
So.
But I just think because of Baltimore's just sound fundamental tackling, they don't give up a whole bunch of chunky yardage. They make you earn their yardage, and just that alone, I just think is enough to beat the Nightcrawler. So I think Baltimore will come out and go to Bullhead City. I'm not going to give a score, but I just think Baltimore's fundamental defensive tackling is just fun to watch, and plus they're very good in coverage on the 3-1 return because the U just couldn't do anything on the 3-on-1. So I like the Watchmen. That's what I like.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the special teams on either one of these teams. I didn't see anything that kind of blew me out of the box for either of them. And what I forgot to say as the part of the reason why I think the Watchmen are going to win is they are battle tested, where the Nightcrawlers have had like zero comp to their level this season. Not saying that the other teams in that division aren't strong, but they're nowhere near on the level of the Nightcrawlers. So they haven't seen anybody of the Watchmen caliber or any of the other teams in this semifinal 4 that we are about to have in Ohio next weekend.
I think one thing that will definitely test it is when the Nightcrawlers get in the mouth, how they respond, because it hasn't happened yet. And I think that will tell a lot. That will say a lot about a football team. Because, some people say the first 5 minutes of the game will tell the story. I think the first 5 minutes of the game might tell the story.
This league is very different when it comes to that. Especially, I think if the Watchmen get out in front early, that the first 5 minutes will tell the story. I think if the Nightcrawlers get out early, it will set the stage for what the Watchmen have been known for doing is when they get down, they lock in and they come back because they've got the experience and the depth to do so. Same with the Insomniacs. I mean, they've been down, and when they get down, they're like, okay, lock in, let's do this. Put the Uno cards away. Let's figure this shit out.
Yahtzee.
Indeed. All right, well, that was talking about the Eastern Conference side between the Watchmen and the Nightcrawlers, which should be a very interesting game. And now,
So we had two. You had
he had the
I had
Nightcrawlers.
you had Nightcrawlers.
I'm
We both
picking
had
Baltimore.
Watchmen. Okay, all right.
I'm
So I'll be the
Lone
dude
wolf?
everybody hates when we go out there.
Can we get since it's the last time we're going to be on air, can we get a final score prediction out of you guys? I know you said you didn't want to give the spread, but let's be real sports people. Let's give a prediction. Let's see what's up here.
I will say I'll give it about a 28-14 type of score. I just think once the Watchmen get a lead, they'll just clamp down like they did on the U. They might just shut them up for half again like they did against the U, because their defense is just that sound when they have a lead, and it's just very hard to just march up and down the field on them. If the Nightcrawlers have to drive like 80+ yards, it's going to be a long day for them. I just don't see how they can quick attack this defense. I don't.
Got it. What about you?
33-30.
Oh, really?
Nightcrawlers.
I'm saying 30-14.
30-14.
Watchmen.
Yes.
Okay.
The Watchmen. All right.
Interesting.
So we got
No, we'll say 36-20. I think the score's going to be a little higher than
36-20.
Yeah.
All right.
I take back what I said earlier about the 22 to 20. I can't see these teams both being held to one touchdown a quarter. There's way too much speed and talent on it. I don't care how good the defenses are. People get loose.
That's what I'm thinking, and I think that once the ball goes into the red zone for the Nightcrawlers, you might see a few trick plays and some stuff go on there that is going to put them into the end zone.
Yeah,
exactly.
Baltimore special. First play of the game.
Well, you never know. Never know. Might have to change that.
Matriculate the ball down the field.
Yep.
All right. So, to, I guess you could say, the meat of the matter. Where now we're about to self-promote the Insomniacs right about now. But anyhow, there is another game, and the team.
What?
Yeah, there is. Shockingly enough. So it is the
One other game.
Chaos of Cincinnati, and we're not going to even try to say that name that they call themselves because, yeah.
Yeah. Like this picture right here.
If there ever was billboard material for the Insomniacs, there you go. But yeah, they decided to have some fun, but I'm just going to say this. Don't poke the bear.
Too late.
And I'm just going to give you some friendly word of advice. Take some advice from teams that have gone to Philadelphia and have desecrated the Rocky Balboa statue. Yes, I know it's a fictitious character, but what that statue means to that city, I'm just saying, anytime somebody has put opposing team colors on the Balboa statue, normally has not ended well. I should know because somebody from the 49ers went up there and put a Niner thing on the Balboa statue, and we had no quarterbacks in the NFC Championship game, and my team lost in the title game for the third time in 4 years, and I'm still living with that pain.
Look, I'm watching the comments, and Daniel Oakley hit it best. He's like, look, it's their vacation shot when they lose this game.
So, here's how we got here.
Good job, Dio.
I like that, D. That was good.
The Chaos went 5-0 during the regular season games. They averaged 27 points a game and didn't give up a point. It seemed like they were pitching shutouts like the Insomniacs. But in the playoffs, they took care of business against the Volcanoes and then struggled against the Heist and went to overtime and had to go to overtime to beat the Heist on a pick six. So, with that said, there really isn't much film to watch on the Chaos other than that particular game there, so it's hard to kind of gauge where they're at. In the Insomniacs case, they're trying to make history. Obviously, BIC is the only team that has run the gauntlet and had a perfect season in the league. And now the Insomniacs are trying to be the second, but have the most wins in a season. So they went 7-0 during the regular season, averaged a double nickel, gave up 9 during the regular season. First playoff game, shut out the Kryptonite, 71-0. Second game, put up 80 on over the top, but they actually gave up some points. They were human for once and gave up 6. Then in the rematch against Sickwit, kept their composure, won by 20. So in the playoffs, they've averaged 66 while only giving up 10. So they're pretty much above their average of scoring and right near their average of giving up points on defense. So we had your son in here last week.
Yeah, and Trey just said, my son just said about the game, chaos and heist. That shit was like watching the Special Olympics.
Trey Robinson, never at a loss for words.
I'm not laughing at that.
Yeah, okay.
He's crying inside, and nobody knows it but him.
Oh man,
I'm just waiting to see the glasses that Trey is about to bust on the field on Sunday. I'm just looking forward for that. That's all I gotta say.
I saw a little Geordie LaForge looking setup that he was going with. I don't know if that's real, but if that's the case. I can't wait. Looking like Blade Runner.
That or data from Star Trek: The Next Generation, whichever one you want to choose.
Well, according to my best friend, self-proclaimed best friend,
which one is this one?
Corey Hammond.
Oh,
I am all in on Cin City Chaos because of their name, Cin City, and I'm gonna go with them. Yeah, Corey, sorry to break it to you, we're not that close because otherwise you would know better. Actually,
Cincinnati's nickname is the Queen City. For those that need a history lesson, but what do I know? I'm just Steve Rogers, but who knows? How do you see this game coming out? Which, I mean, okay, we know who we're gonna pick. That's just quite obvious. But
let's do it like this: will the Chaos score? And if so, how many?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
That's making me ponder. Look.
Because, well, for one thing, to pinpoint what Chris has said, watching their line play, there is no athleticism, and you're going to need some trying to deal with AJ and Mouth. And if they just decide to put the big Cornhusker in the middle, Mr. Matt Kenny.
Hey, can we pause for 1 second?
Go ahead.
So it's Mouth with 2 F's.
2 F's.
No TH. And it's sick with it, not sick with it. So we're all
with it. I'm good with that. I'm kind of sick with it.
Sick with it.
So,
ooh.
Can
there's my E40 reference.
Colin, can you put that picture back up that we had with the
you really
want to
you really want to go there?
Yeah, I really want to go
okay.
here because
let
me tell you.
Go there. Take it.
This was posted, and I started reading some of the comments, and the one person that you truly don't want to piss off, they managed to piss off, and that's AJ.
As if he needed extra motivation.
Oh, he is not very happy. So I truly hope they're ready for AJ because he is not happy.
Okay. I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Over under 5 sacks for AJ.
Ooh, that's a big number.
Because if he's that
I'm gonna say 5 sacks.
If he's that pissed off like you say he is, that's why I put it at 5.
Yeah, I think that I really think that Insomniacs want to send a message. I think that I've said it on this podcast. I've said it before. The disrespect from the East Coast is huge. Listening to all the stuff that was going on, and even on some of the other podcasts that I've listened to and watched, it's still there. People were saying, "Oh, you guys are going to get blown out by Chaos." Yeah, that's what they said. Others have picked them straight up and said, look, they're going to win. It's not even going to be, it's probably going to be a close game, but they're going to win. Chaos, that is. When you start putting all this stuff together and when people start, mentioning this stuff and you're just giving bulletin board material for a team to just go off on you. And the thing about it is, the part that I think is even a little bit funnier when I sit here and talk about it is we haven't heard that from Chaos, but we've heard it from all the other players. So it's interesting.
Here's the funny part for me is what the Chaos average during the regular season,
mm-hmm.
The Insomniacs could put that up in less than 3 minutes.
Well, they also didn't play full games in the regular season
That's
because
true
the comp
too.
they were playing could not keep them from mercy ruling them by the first quarter.
That's true too. And again, yes, the Chaos earned the right to play for the conference championship. We're not taking that away from them. Absolutely not. But just watching their game against the Heist, you really can't be confident about that, can you?
look, the bottom line is this. When I watched their whole game, I watched the throw-offs specifically. I watched special teams specifically, and I watched their trench play specifically. There's two things that I saw that worry me about Chaos. And when I say that, it's their capabilities to defend. And one of the things that I'm really worried about for them defending is a 3-on-1 throw-off, because they have not seen speed like Trey and Danye. I'm sorry, they have not. And if you're not in your lanes, if you are not playing football in a way where you're staying home, these guys are going to beat you, and they're going to beat you bad.
To your point, they have never had to cover a 3-on-1 with teams like the East or like Vegas.
No.
Or like somebody like Billy Mallard or somebody like the speed that they have out of Florida. They have not seen that yet. The teams that they've traveled to play as a Ohio division wasn't the Chaos. They traveled to Florida, played a game last season, but it was the Heist, right? I don't think any of those Heist guys ended up on the Chaos squad. So the Chaos has not seen what real special teams hard-nosed play looks like with the speed that Vegas, Baltimore, New Jersey, Florida puts on the field yet at all. They've only seen it on tape. They ain't ready.
No.
There's no way they could be ready.
No.
Period.
They don't have the speed in their look.
They might have the speed. Who knows if they'll have it on the field when they do their first throw off, and who knows if those speed guys can tackle the speed and size that the Insomniacs put on the field. Because it's not just like they got, Gianni, who's super fast and one of the best DBs in the league running those kicks, who's little but has good balance. It's somebody like Danye, who's, even though he's skinny, he's beefy. Somebody like Trey, even though he's skinny, he's beefy. Like, Trey's the last dude you want to try to tackle when he's at full speed. That dude has trucked every single person who he looks for contact and wants to run you over. He will set up like he's going to juke just so you can get off balance and then put his head in your chest.
Yep.
And then step on you as he goes by.
Mm-hmm.
A la Tyronn Lue getting stepped over by Allen Iverson in the finals.
No, I would say stepped on, not stepped over.
Oh, like Stone Cold Steve Austin stopping Vince McMahon.
Yes. So it is going to be, when we see these throw-offs.
Knox in the chat just like, that should happen to me.
And Knox is not a little man.
No, and he's fast. That's the thing. Knox has wheels, but he was on the other side of the ball. They always ran away from him.
Yes.
There was no way he was catching up to them from behind.
No. I mean, look, these two guys, when you're talking about, the 3-on-1s is one thing. But the one thing that we have not talked about, and it's a piece that I've got to talk about because it's something that if they put back into their bag of tricks, if you will, for the Insomniacs, is when you put Trey back as quarterback. Putting him as a running back is one thing. Putting him back at the quarterback is almost unfair.
And he can sling the rock.
Exactly. But the bigger piece about that is, again, when I see Chaos's front line, as a quarterback, it wouldn't, from, Trey's stature, it's not somebody, or they're not guys that I'm afraid of. He can get around all of them. The piece that I would be most afraid of is when Mac decides enough's enough, we're running the damn ball, and he makes those lanes. I mean,
well, that's the way they start out normally. Right? Yeah. They want to see if you can stop their run. If you can't, they're just going to punish you the whole game.
They want to establish the run.
I mean, I talked about it before, but, Mac is different. He's different.
Bust out the syrup.
Right? When you talk about a football player, this dude is different. I mean, when I see him walk people out of bounds, walk them downfield, he's always said, I didn't want to pancake him because I don't want to hurt anybody, which I get. But, when we talked, one of the things that he mentioned to me was, we're not playing the guys from Vegas. I don't have friends right now. So if I'm pancaking people, I'm putting people on their backs. And this is a dude that, I watched play a full quarter with no cleats on, no shoes, period.
And still pancaking.
And still pancaking people and still dog walking people. So, these are guys that take their craft very seriously.
So let me ask this. Any latest word on RTC? How is he going to be able to play in this game? Does anybody know?
Yeah, RTC just won 2 championships this last weekend in flags. I think he's all right.
Okay, all right. Hey,
Yeah,
it must be nice to jog 95 yards and not even run fast for a touchdown. I just want to know. I just I love his running style.
Like, I was looking at his pictures online to see if I can even see a scar on his face. I think he's not human, and he healed as soon as he went into his
he's like Logan.
chamber of crystals and fucking pulled the lever and just healed, and he was good to go.
This dude is above, but I mean, I saw somebody ask him, "Hey, you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, man, just won a championship on Sunday playing flag." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess you're doing good. Don't have to worry about you." Well, I think it was in between is when they asked. So he just won the first one. So it was interesting to hear that, and I'm glad that. Hoping he'll make the trip.
That answers my question because I just love the way he runs with the ball.
Well,
I really do.
The thing I think the Chaos need to be most concerned about is the actual starting quarterback, because they're going to see Scooter and quarterback put their big line in and try to, this guy takes off. We need to be able to take him down. He's going to get past the first guy, and those guys will not be able to catch him.
Don't let the middle open, because Scooter will take the opening in the middle.
I am super excited to see how many different looks the Insomniacs give them, but I also want to see how the Chaos deal with their primary look. When they stack the box, put Danye out wide or Davik out wide, so you've got 6 in the box, 1 spread wide, and what they try to do to that. Because if they stack the box, Davik or Danye is just going to burn them over the top. There's literally no catching either one of those guys if you have any time at all. And based on what we've seen from line play, when they stack the box, Scooter will have all the time in the world, provided the ball doesn't get batted down, because no one's getting in past that line.
No, it's going to be a very interesting game. And I know eventually you're going to go to so what do you guys see? Well, Derek, you'll probably ask about points. I don't think anybody here is going to say Chaos is going to win this game.
Not in this studio.
No.
There's plenty of people on this thread
that might think that, but
yeah.
I think some of them are just talking shit, but that's just me. I think that Cincinnati Chaos, a good bet would be your name. Let's be real. There's only one Cin City. That's here in Vegas. There ain't no Cin City.
That's been irking your nerves all season long.
I can't call them Cin City. That's why I call them Cincinnati, man. I can't do it.
I won't even tag them in my post about them. I tag Ace NFL Cincinnati because I refuse to give them that. I'll give you love. I like the Cincinnati Chaos. Look, I'm glad you guys did what you did. You got a good squad, but you fucking with my name right now. You fucking with my city right now. No, just no.
Look, Vegas against everyone was kind of the
war cry.
The war cry for us, and we have put it out there. But when it comes to Cin City, dude, that's a Vegas thing, man, through and through.
When I saw the name and it get posted in the owners group, I literally clutched my pearls and said, "You did what?"
I think that's more of a hell no.
He was like, "Lord, give me the strength for me not to go off right now, because I want to go off right now. Lord, give me the strength right now in the name of Jesus."
Don't you know?
Well, because I mean, look, when I saw this picture that we've had up a couple of times, I damn near lost it.
There it is again.
I damn near lost it. Man, I think Quan
right now.
Quan's messing with us now. He's just like, fuck it, I'll put it up again.
I want to get y'all fired up.
But this dude, all right, look, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This better be their vacation picture, because we all know they ain't coming to Vegas for real.
Yeah, when they put that up, I said, look, if y'all really want to come to this game, here's the ticket link. Because we know y'all not winning. But okay, so all seriousness. So I asked a question at the beginning of this. How many points do you think the Chaos will score? Y'all skirted around it.
I'm still going to skirt around that mother.
All right. No. Will they at least get a touchdown?
Yes.
Will it be on offense or defense or special teams?
Yes. Look, I don't think, okay, let's go back and look at the special teams. And I watched, like I said, watch their 3-on-1. I'm sorry, but the returner doesn't scare me.
So
the thing that they've got to be careful of, there's a little dude that is on the returns for Insomniacs that loves
the Peanut Tillman punch.
Yes, he does. So you better, thing about it is, we could talk about this ad nauseum.
Mr. Cannon.
I just don't think that Chaos has a return game that the Insomniacs should be afraid of. So
here's my question. if it's Danye, or if it's Trey.
Mm-hmm.
Over under 2 3-on returns for touchdowns from either of them.
Well, I mean, any of the 3-on-1s, I think that if there is, I'll put it to you this way. If there are 4 throw-offs, including 4th downs, and they throw it off, I would say that they take 3 back.
Yeah, so that's the tricky part, because for the Insomniacs to have to return the ball, that means the Chaos would have had to score. So I believe there'll be at least one, because there will be at least one throw off from the Chaos, and they will not be ready for this unless they throw the ball and stand back at the 35-yard line and
wait.
And wait.
Yes.
Then there's a shot.
And it's not a very good one.
Not just one of them, all 3.
Yes.
But do you really want to give Danye and Trey the ball in hand? Really? You really want that smoke? You really want those problems?
No, what Derek is saying is the throw off happens and they just stay where they're at. They don't chase. They stay where they're at and try to defend from that position.
Look, because there's not a dude on that team that has the arm to get it back to the goal line like we have seen people do to try to nullify it, right?
Correct.
Nobody with the arm to get it out the back of the end zone that we've seen. I'm not aware of them having any returns on their own, which means to me that they don't have the speed on the return side to stop other people from returning to the likes of Danye or Trey. So that's where I'm at with that. So I think because of the way the Insomniacs play, and once they get ahead, they start having fun, I think that they will likely give up 2 or 3 touchdowns in garbage time, maybe one in the first half because of a trick play of some sort. But I also want to bring up, there are guys who played for the Chaos earlier in the season that haven't been around a lot because of a semi-pro schedule that will be available for that game. So there's some guys we haven't seen tape on that are probably some of the best guys in their team, but unless they bring in 7 of them for the offense and 7 of them for the defense, it's not going to be enough. But they might be able to surprise all of us with that.
Well, it's interesting. I just saw a post saying that Chaos has a guy that can get the ball to the 20.
Okie dokie then.
To the 20. Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't really scare me.
Okay.
Wow. I could do that backwards.
And
I know some people that can hike it that far.
I used to be able to.
Look, bottom line here is, I don't want to take anything from Chaos. And at the same time, I just want to give everything to Insomniacs because I don't think the Insomniacs are taking this game lightly at all. I don't think they're looking past them. I've seen now on more than one occasion in the chat where they're basically, all the guys from the Insomniacs are saying the same thing. They're standing in our way. I want you to think about that. When you're being told that somebody is standing in your way of your goal, I don't know too many people that are going to not take that on their shoulders and try to run through that person. So that's why I don't think that this game is being taken lightly at all.
the Insomniacs are definitely treating this like a business trip.
Oh, yeah.
This is a business trip. Gonna do one thing, take care of business, see you in Bullhead City. I think that's their mindset. And I totally agree with what Scooter said when I interviewed him. He said, we're going to mercy him. And he said that convincingly, and he full-fledged believes that, and I think the whole team believes that.
Well, I don't think that as we sit here and talk about this, I don't think that these guys are looking at anything except, what has been said over the past from the East Coast. Because I haven't heard all the 3-on-1s. I haven't heard some of the stuff that has been talked about with our guys on their podcast. But I have heard some of the other podcasts. I've heard, some of the other guys that have really talked crap. And, I could say shit. I keep forgetting. The whole fact of it is when we sit back and we look at it, they've talked their shit. Let's be real. And so I think it's one of those things where these guys have that chip on their shoulder from multiple levels.
Yeah.
And when they see nobody's given them an opportunity, even against Chaos, and they've watched the games, they know the players, and you're not even giving them a shot against Chaos. That is kind of a low blow in my eyes, and I think the guys see it the same way.
It's stupidity. That's all it is. People posturing and throwing shit out there.
Well, it's what I said to a couple of the guys. This East Coast bias that you guys have is eventually going to come back and bite you in the ass. And when it does, I don't think it's going to be a light bite. I think it's going to take the whole left cheek. So I hope they're ready. And I think that the Insomniacs are more than, like Dub said, they're taking this as a business trip.
Real quick, shout out to Steve Wishard in the chat. Like, I put it out on my personal page and invited people to come watch it. Mm-hmm. Steve Wishard's from my other life. It's cool to see
Steve's
him
on there.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, what's up, Steve?
Our other life. Yes.
Yes. Know him well. So glad he joined.
I'm trying to get him to play. He's a little old, but
Well, he's older than me.
Exactly, but he acts like a young man, like you do. Y'all scare me.
But so jumping back to it, I'm going obviously with the Insomniacs for my pick.
You don't say.
Yeah, I don't say. I'm thinking.
You got a final score prediction?
I'm thinking about that. I'm gonna let you guys get yours in, and then I'll give you my final score.
70-18.
Wow. Okay. Well, Derek, just threw that out there.
So you have them putting up a 70 burger. Okay. I'll see on our ratio. I'll say they'll put up 75. Since they've been averaging until the Sequita game, they were averaging 75 points to the first two games. So I'll say 75-7. I think the Cows only gets one touchdown.
They'll win, and they're going to get the extra point. Yeah. You said 7.
I said 7.
Ooh.
A nice round a nice round number.
All right. So you got 1 score and 1 extra point. I've got 3 scores, no extra point.
65-12.
2 scores, no extra
points.
Yeah.
So the only person that thinks they'll be able to get extra point.
Just to give the Insomniacs more motivation than they already need.
Copy.
Hell has no fury than a team that feels disrespected, and the Insomniacs feel disrespected.
All right, so here's the question I have for you to kind of let everyone in Vegas know what we really feel about these guys and what we feel about the Ohio division. The Chaos, best team in the Ohio division, hands down.
Correct.
Who is their Vegas comp? Vegas or LA comp? Because I know you guys have seen those 10 teams play.
Aces. You were thinking the same thing, weren't you?
Well, someone proposed that in the chat because I don't think they have the talent Kryptonite has or OTT. So I'm thinking either Aces or Hunters is probably where they fall.
I'm thinking Aces. I think that they are a...
I mean, if you compare their seasons, they're definitely the Aces.
Yeah.
Right? They played against the teams that were in front of them, dominated all of them. No one even had a shot against them except for maybe one game. Exact thing happened back in the Midwest. So schedule-wise and what was put in front of them wise, they are absolutely the Aces. They are absolutely the Nightcrawlers. But Nightcrawlers have way more talent that I can see on film.
I would agree.
Won't get no arguments.
So you got Aces too?
Aces, Hunters, and a little bit over the top. OTT.
Interesting.
All right. Well, what else you got to say?
Serious?
Someone's in your...
Yeah, seriously?
All right.
Okay, so supposedly there is a response from a certain somebody. Quan, if you got that B-roll, go ahead and roll it, sir.
Is this another Matt?
So it comes to my attention that people are wondering, why am I not showing footage of me running a 40? Percival Cox has done it twice.
Because he can't
made
finish.
Himself a meme twice, and the only time I go viral, baby girl, is with a highlight, getting on Sports Center, getting on Jukes, and I could juke you right now, Casey. Oh, you can't see it though, can you? You'll see it July 21st through the 23rd in Bullhead, Babola. And also, you want to call the championship game? Cool. Write that in your dream journal, because that ain't the bet. Get some cash, you want some of this hair, you want this beard, you can get it. But you ain't getting my seat at the championship. See ya, Snookums.
Well.
Oh, okay. So,
let me just say, I love me some Matt Ryan. That dude is one of the best sports announcers I've had the pleasure of listening to, and his knowledge base is beyond almost anybody I've listened to. That dude is locked in. This shit's hilarious, though.
But dude, he's fast walking and out of breath. So
right.
The reason why we haven't seen the video of him running the 40 is because he hasn't finished it yet.
because he hasn't started yet.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, he's still
Look,
he's probably on the 20 right now.
My money's still on KC because I think I'm going to have a chance to train him for the 2 weeks leading up to this. It hasn't happened so far except for one day. So we'll see if that happens. But if it does, my money's on KC. If not, my money's on Matt, just out of who they are as people. Like Matt's super responsible.
All I know is, if this was a wrestling storyline, Matt Ryan will be a freaking awesome heel. Kind of reminds me of Mr. Paul Heyman with his promos. But
He's an old wrestling guy, Matt.
oh no, we have talked. Well, okay, I made a Dusty Rhodes reference, and Matt lost his dog on mine because I can talk about some Virgil Reynolds, if you will, live and in public on the mothership on PBS, if you will. Anyhow, so yeah, me and Matt have that appreciation of the wrestling business and great storytelling and telling promos and whatnot. So we've had that discussion. So I'm just excited that me and Chris actually gets to call this.
Oh, I'm gonna have fun with this, man.
We get to be on headsets talking about this stuff.
Can I be on the sideline running it with them, and I'll carry a camera as I'm running?
I would love that. As you backpedal.
Yes, as I'm backpedaling,
and blow past them.
Yes,
Now down on the field to Chris Vera. Chris, what do you have?
as I'm running with both of them. Oh, they just hit the ground again for the 4th time.
Right.
See who gets up quicker.
Let's see who can unhook the refrigerator from their back.
So, with what you said last week,
Boeing 737.
did Corey Hammond respond to you?
Not really.
Yeah, where are we at with the bets?
I don't know. I think Corey, I know you're listening, man, because I've seen you post on here a couple of times. So you taking me up on the one play where you get to cover me and see what happens? I mean,
Well, he challenged you to a foot race, and he said he would backpedal.
Yep.
And in response, you challenged him to cover you.
Yep.
On one play. So neither one of you have agreed to terms.
no, and of course he's hitting pause again. It's getting old, Corey. Getting real old. I mean, look, Corey. How old is Corey?
36, I think.
And I'm friggin' 51. Come on, bruh.
Well, he's going to backpedal.
Well, put up or shut up. And, yeah, of course. He's been backpedaling since we talked about it. So, I mean, it's cool.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that's all he's been doing. So, yeah, he's been great at backpedaling. And he asks if I'm still talking about his taint. No, bro. I ain't talking about your taint.
All right, so we got Chris and Corey still working out their drama. We'll see what happens there. We got Big Rob versus Viking in a push-up challenge.
contest. Yep.
Now, is that official? Did Big Rob agree to this?
Look, Big Rob put it out there first.
Oh,
And
he did?
Viking,
Okay.
Viking accepted.
Okay.
So,
So you did. Okay, so there is 2 challenges for sure.
well, 3. We
Three.
got two for sure because we got Casey and
2.5.
Matt. So
2.5.
we still got Corey and Chris working out details, and then the other big one is Steve Ashmore versus Ron Clerk
Oh,
in a
yes.
40.
Yes.
Now, and Ron, a formerly elite athlete, I'm assuming 2-3 years removed from the league, has probably still got some wheels. And Steve, hopefully, I know he's training and doing his thing. We see Steve actually move pretty well before the second run where he hit the ground,
Yeah.
but he still finished finger across the goal line. So we'll see
It
how it
crossed
goes.
the plane for a touchdown.
And I had put my hair on the line, but that's coming down. So Corey did not. Sorry, Casey did not do the training well that was required. So my hair is no longer on the docket.
Can't say I blame you there.
Well, I'm glad because, some of us would like to have our hair back, but, it's not going to happen. So I'm glad that you get to keep your locks. I'm glad for you.
Well, I'm keeping them. So there's a $10,000 value I put on them. So still, if we raise that $10,000, they're going. Because I can go to shit back. But,
I used to say that. Now I can't anymore.
all right.
And I cut mine weekly. Sorry, Dub.
Hey, I had a good 26-year on these curls of mine that I used to have and put on an afro, and God said, son, let it go. And I promised myself I would not be a sunroof, and I dang sure would not be like Howard Cosell and wear a doggone toupee. I was not going to do that. No. So
Yeah, I'd have just been like Ali and try to pull that bastard off.
I know you would have. Just like on the wide world of sports.
Big fan of you.
So
I'm wearing a toque. No shit.
all of this, all of this is a part of the excitement and extravaganza that is going on the 21st through the 23rd of this month in Bullhead City, Arizona. In addition to the challenges thrown between broadcasters and division managers and players and athletes and whatnot, there's also a food truck show, a car show, and a esports tournament, and of course $10,000 on the line in a flag football tournament and a flag football championship game, and some national championship game to determine who is the best team in the ASNFL.
Well,
and
the AIFA is having the Kings' very first home game this season.
oh, nice.
Yeah. So that'll be Saturday, and then our statistician Dwayne Smith, he's bringing out 2 Pee Wee teams to play each other in the arena at halftime for the AIFA game.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of real cool stuff going on.
A lot of good stuff going on. And also, by the way, there's going to be a combine that is going to be ran by former NFL head coach and former NFL player, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, Mr. Mike Tice. So,
But there will not be NFL scouts that will be able to get numbers from this combine based on the NFL's new rule change. So we have
really?
XFL, USFL, AFL, A7FL scouts that will be in the building. Happy to take the numbers, believe in what we're doing. Mike Tice is still in charge. Luis Ojeda, who's with the Hula Bowl, and I think the Shrine Game.
yeah.
We'll be looking for guys for college as well. So we have what we need for the guys to get the exposure they're looking for, but I don't care how good you were at our combine, you weren't automatically leapfrogging to the NFL anyway, so you're probably going to need to hit the XFL, USFL to get there. And the Arena Football League is going to have representatives in the building for sure. Then they start up their new season next year.
Now, is this like the third rendition of the AFL?
I only know of the 2, but it could be the 3rd.
Okay.
Because we used to have the Gladiators here in Vegas, and I was a huge fan, and now they're still around, but I think they were in Jersey for a while. I'm not sure where they're at now.
After they left Vegas, they went to Cleveland, and then they left Cleveland. I think they went to Jersey. Of course, they're still going to have the Arizona Rattlers, and of course,
So that's why Ohio thinks they get our leftovers.
yeah, yeah.
Names.
Well, heck, I'm still mad that they disbanded my beloved San Jose SaberCats. I was a huge SaberCats fan, but that goes without saying. And then Bon Jovi owned a team, and then
You in Northern California.
hey, as E40 says, loyal to my soil, just like you're loyal to your Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, there you go. So
NA7.
that too. So for those that don't know what a combine is, what goes on at a combine for those that are just watching for the first time? So if you are a fan intrigued by this and you want to go watch this, what will they be watching?
All right, so the part that the fans will care about seeing, there will be measurables as far as competitions and skills being done. The first and the most obvious, the one that everyone's looking for, is the 40-yard dash. So we have 2 laser time 40-yard dash machines out there getting guys numbers for that. That's going to be the biggest thing. The other big thing that NFL is looking for, all leagues are looking for, including the NFL, who won't have scouts there, is the shuttle drill. So we're not doing the L shuttle as we've done in the past. It's going to be a short shuttle, so just back and forth, the 3. So it's a total of 20 yards. We will do a broad jump, so standing from a flat foot position, jumping out as far as you can without falling backwards. And we will also do a vertical jump, so standing from a standing position, jumping up and touching as high as you can with your fingers. So those will be the 4 competition measurables. They will also be getting wingspan and hand size and weight and height.
So no quarterback throwing.
No
Okay.
Actual skill drills for
Okay.
anything like that. And quite frankly, nobody wanted to see it. They're
Okay.
like, we've got tape on your guys. We were more concerned about what they look like against competition versus what they look like in underwear against the air.
So no Under Armour bodysuits. Bummer. For those that with the multicolored suits, I'm just saying. Anyhow, so
Right.
I'm just going to wear a bodysuit. I'm going to wear a onesie.
Oh God.
Oh, and for those guys who are playing in the flag tournament that's happening at the same time as the combine, they will be making special consideration for flag players and let you run yours and jump in line either before or after your games if you are registered as a flag player.
So with that said, go to a7fl.com and buy your ticket. And if you buy now and you pay the full price, they get you into everything over the whole entire weekend, which is really going to be a fun weekend. I'm looking forward to being there. Haven't been to Bullhead City in a long time. As we go for the battle for the trophy on the banks of the Colorado River.
Yeah, so back to the combine. $65. $65. That is the least expensive pro sports combine I've ever seen. And with that $65, you get access to all of the weekend's games. And your fall registration for Vegas or LA is also paid. So literally, you're just investing in yourself in the weekend. You could pay and jog to the combine if you want. It's a great deal if you're looking to play in the fall anyway and wanting to see what's going on that weekend.
Well,
unbelievable.
Well, like I keep saying, it's all about a dream. It's all about your one shot. And now you are given this opportunity to try and fulfill a dream that you've had since you were a kid. So if this is what you want, if you want to have that one opportunity.
You tell him, Eminem.
That one shot.
Hey, you got spaghetti on your sorry.
I am Steve Rogers. Mom spaghetti.
Yep.
Ready to drop bombs. But anyhow, you got a dream. You got a shot. This is your opportunity. Make the most of it. Because you don't know when an opportunity like this will come once in a lifetime. So this is your shot to try and get noticed, to try and fulfill that dream of playing professional football for real, and get paid for it, obviously.
Well, look, and $65, you get to meet Marlon Greenwood and Mike Tice. That's kind of a big deal anyway.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
I mean, Mike Tice, he has seen everything that you could possibly see in the NFL. So, I mean, he could give you some good sound advice and tell you what to do. So the opportunity is there. Grasp it and take it and run with it.
And don't let fear be part of your package. Don't let the fear of what you think you can do hold you back from coming out and showing out.
That's what's up.
Well,
so we want to talk about the flag setup?
The flag setup.
And the esports setup?
Yeah, please.
All right, so let's start with the esports setup. We've changed it now that it's going to be online games that people can schedule at their leisure on the days that are needed. And it will be 2 separate tournaments, one for Madden and one for NBA 2K.
Oh, okay.
Right, so there were some requests that we had, people wanting to play 2K. So that should be up by this weekend, we hope. And then people can sign up and then compete. Whoever their game, they need to sign up with their gamer tag, and then we'll pit gamer tag versus gamer tag, and they'll schedule their game and play it, get it done, send us the results, and then they'll move on to the next round.
Okay, so here's my question about the Madden thing: is the 3 touchdown rule in effect? Meaning, if you get down 21 points, you go with the sticks.
I don't think so.
Okay.
People are paying to play. So
okay, so
look, that hasn't been discussed. So if there's something we need to have in,
so you have to take the whole ass beating.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe so. I actually asked. Sorry, Skylar. I actually asked if there was a mercy rule in this game this coming weekend. If they would actually end the game, because obviously we got 4 or 5 broadcast partners that are on this game. Is it going to work, or what situation? I haven't got an answer back yet. So I think we are going to keep the mercy rule in play for the A7 semifinal. I don't know if there is one for the Madden game.
Okay. Now, is there going to be a mercy rule in the championship game, or is it going to be full 60 minutes?
Don't know.
Don't know. Okay.
Haven't gotten that far yet. I haven't got an answer for the semifinal yet.
Okay.
No, we're doing the championship.
Okay.
All right. So the esports tournament is $50 buy-in, $35 for any A7 NFL registered player. The cash prize is $1,000, and the field is up to 256 with 2 different games that are being played. Okay. And then the flag is 7-on-7 full contact flag with a center. Everyone's eligible, like normal flag rules.
7-on-7 instead of 8-on-8?
7-on-7.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the what I missed? Oh, triple threat flags for the people who care about what type of flags they're going to be using.
Didn't know there was a difference in flags.
There are.
I just learned something new today.
So the way it's going to be set up, if we end up with a full field of 20, will be the games on Saturday will be field play, 3 30-minute games with a running clock. And then on Sunday, same situation, 30-minute games all the way up into the championship, which will be a full hour. If we're less than that and we have enough time to do longer games, we will in the Saturday and Sunday games.
Now I got another question. For fans that can't attend, is there a way for them to watch these games?
Yeah, all the games will be on our usual streaming platform. So likely, definitely on YouTube, possibly on Caffeine TV, our new partner, and then the AIFA game will definitely be on YouTube and their streaming platform. And then, of course, the A7 NFL Championship will be on DAZN, A7NFL.TV, Fox 5.2, Cox 125, Caffeine, and on my phone. If you want to just stand behind me and look over my shoulder.
So, speaking of Caffeine TV, talk about this new deal with Caffeine TV.
We have a new deal with Caffeine TV. That's
There you go.
all I know.
That's all you know. Okay.
I signed up for the shit because that's what I do. I bought some points because that's what I do, and that's about the extent of it.
Got it. But now, Caffeine TV is now a part of the A7FL. So, if you want to watch the A7FL, get Caffeine TV.
So while we're on the topic, we've got, I think now 14 food trucks, the best of Bullhead, and a couple really great ones that we all love out of Vegas that will be at the food festival. And we have a new car show partner, and I think we're going to have 36 cars now for the car show with Anderson Auto Group actually jumping in and having some cars out there. And is it Faro? And Faro's Car Club from Arizona is going to be the car club out there with their classic rods. So
Nice.
that should be real nice. And then so both those events are happening at the same time. We're hoping the people for the car show want to eat food, and the people from the food festival want to look at cars. And then we'll have the DJ out there spinning, and some local talent actually singing, and some folks from back east are coming. So some people who are affiliated with Bone Thugs and Harmony will actually be in the building. So Ohio, we took your best performing artists as well.
Which was signed.
Got 'em.
Which was signed by Eazy-E. Go figure. Little hip hop history.
Right?
Well, that is a full line of events ahead, coming from July 21st to the 23rd. So again, the coup de grace to ending the spring season of the A7FL is coming to an end, which kind of makes me sad, but it is heading towards the nitty gritty. And
I don't know about you, but I need a break.
no, recharging the batteries is always good.
Yeah.
Getting some rest is at times needed, but you know,
It's the one summer I'm not doing a real vacation, so I definitely need a break.
vacations are also good.
Oh, you're not doing one this year?
No.
Dang.
I know, right?
I had scheduled a 4 to 5 day fishing trip where I was completely off the grid starting on the 24th. Like, once this game's over on the 23rd,
I'm done.
deuces, y'all.
Yeah.
I am gone. Y'all can't get in touch with me.
San
I'm out
Diego?
here. Well, out of San Diego.
Yeah.
But now I got a meeting on the 24th, so I had to cancel that whole trip. It was a big meeting, so still got to afford to pay for stuff. So I still got to get that done. So
Yeah.
the next fishing trip is mid-August, and it falls onto a couple of vacations that we got going, so I can't do that. So I don't even know if I'm going to able to do deep sea fishing. But when I go to Fiji, I believe we'll be off the grid almost that entire time. So I need a break from y'all. I love you to death, but every now and then I need to regroup and
Man, when are you going to Fiji?
I'm not putting that on air.
Okay, we'll talk after.
I'm just gonna say this: you and the
Curious.
missus enjoy the hell out of that. Please enjoy it for me.
You're damn right.
Yeah. Shit, this was my trip to Barbados too, and we pulled back. So
Look, I will tell you guys one thing about my Fiji trip. I am not packing underwear. It's like that.
Are you staying at the? Are you staying on the island where it's the all inclusive, and you've got your own house basically over the water?
I'm not exactly sure. We booked 3 days in Fiji to extend the trip, but our actual trip, we're on a catamaran and staying and sleeping on the catamaran and going from port to port for day activities at each port.
Nice.
Some timeshare thing that a friend of ours put together, got a super good deal on it. I think for both of us, it was like $4,200 with airfare for a week out in Fiji. I'm like, yeah, of course, I'm in. Let me get at that action. So,
Well, so you might not be packing any drawers, but let me tell you, you're gonna be wearing them because I don't think they're gonna let you walk around naked on the damn boat.
I will have shorts on, just no drawers.
He says he's going commando underneath the shorts.
Right. Just no DRAWLS, no draws.
Not wearing any chonies. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
No tarantarans.
Yes. Okay. Well, easy on, easy off.
And that's something you guys may not ever wanted to know about me. When I vacation, I usually don't pack that over.
Hey, it's your vacation.
Right.
You are free to do whatever the hell you
Actually,
want to do.
I take that back. If I don't be working out, I do pack underwear. I have zero intention of working out. Oh no, I take that back. Damn it. I will have my underwear. We'll be in the middle of September. It's Great Cycle Challenge month, so I will be trying to find a stationary bike or a bicycle to rent every single day to get some miles in to raise money for childhood cancer.
Nice.
Speaking of which, if you guys
Fantastic cause.
have not heard about the Great Cycle Challenge, every September, me and my family and lots of our friends will ride to raise money for childhood cancer. If you guys are interested in signing up, hit me in the DMs. I'll get another post out here shortly. But you ride your bike, have people raise money on you, or you donate money while we ride our bikes.
Hey, just real quick, Trey wants to know that if they win the championship, can they get that trip to Disneyland?
Who's they?
Should we
The team, man. They want.
Should we play When You Wish Upon a Star right now and just go full
Right?
throttle? The Insomniacs, you have just won the championship. What are you going to do now?
Going to Disneyland.
Go to Disneyland.
Tell Trey if his coach and GM and owner of the Insomniacs wants to pull that off. Absolutely, because the league does not sponsor those things. That is team stuff.
Damn, sorry, Trey.
Right? But I will be covering a outing in Ohio and a team building thing and getting the guys out, do some sightseeing. It sounds to me like we might have a wing eating competition with Jordan or someone else from Ohio. So if that's going to go down, we get Steve Ashmore to, throw some wings down against somebody.
Who, Jordan Davis?
I think
Davidson?
So. I think that's who. I
My
think
bad.
that's who said it.
Yeah, I know that. I've been looking at this, and I've seen some stuff going back and forth from Skylar Hurd to Trey and Trey back. It's been going back and forth. It's been kind of interesting and funny all at the same time.
Yeah, shout out to Steve Ashmore. He's one of the guys that rides on the Great Cycle Challenge with us. So
Nice.
yeah.
No wonder you still got them wheels.
Brent says he got us on a wing spot. Thank you, Brent. I'm gonna hit you up after this.
Sweet. So what time? What time's dinner? On Saturday.
I'm not gonna say where publicly because I don't want anybody messing with the food.
Yeah.
So I think we're doing dinner at 8.
Okay.
And then I believe we're doing film study before dinner and then going out dinner and outing and then try to get everybody back in the house no later than 10 o'clock so they can get rested up real well. And then I believe we're doing walkthroughs at
In
the
the morning.
field between 11 and 1 before the next game starts.
I'm just curious because I get in later than you guys. So
Oh, we actually pushed dinner and film study out for you to actually be there because I want your mind on it.
appreciate that. I will definitely have my mind on it.
Sounds
'cause,
like some Hard Knocks and John Facenta in the film room studying the plays of the Cincinnati Chaos.
Yes, and Trey, I'm not going to repeat what you just put out there.
And then shout out to the Ohio guys as well. Monday, we've got a full day there with nothing going on. The first direct flight back to Vegas was at 10:50 at night. So we're going to have time to kill on Monday night and looking to hang and have a good time. I got some work to do in the morning, but after that, let's cut up and get loose.
Wish I would have stayed until Monday.
Are you going back Sunday?
Yeah, I got to come back Sunday night.
Okay.
Mom's got some stuff going on that I got to be back for.
Speaking of which, how is she?
She's doing all right. Appreciate that. She's, you always got to be worried about somebody who had basically 2 heart attacks and, worry about heart damage and stuff. So that's what she's going to go figure out tomorrow.
Well, she looked
And,
good this weekend.
Yeah, she's still tired.
Okay.
Still
Well,
tired.
this is my first time meeting her. I didn't know what she's normally like. I
I mean, look, she don't look 81.
was going to say,
For
'cause
starters.
I know how old you are. So
Yes.
that means she's up there.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's just
You
you're
got
right.
something in your eye?
I do, man. I'm
Got an
sorry.
eyelash.
Can you figure it out?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it out.
Trying to
but,
finger it out. Okay, gotcha.
Anyway, yeah, we'll just see how it all plays out. I just, gonna stay worried until I know for sure that everything's cool.
Well, I mean, that's what a son does. He always is his mother's protector.
The sun never forgets.
Exactly.
Well, send those positive vibes, man. Worrying never helps anybody.
No, and when I say that, it's not so much the fact of worrying about the outcome, it's understanding what's going to happen. And so that just takes time. I wish it was a little bit more, this happened a couple weeks ago. I wish that we had already had these, all this doctor stuff out of the way and we already had our answers. That's all.
Right?
It's the waiting that drives you nuts.
So I had to drop both my heart doctor appointments because I got travel on both days, but we figured out what's going on with me already, so I'm not as concerned. I hope my wife doesn't hear this. I'm rescheduling both of them, honey, so we'll get her done. But
Phone's ringing right now.
right?
What do you mean?
Well, still well wishes and prayers and all the positive chi your way too, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Not a problem. All right, gentlemen. Now we're almost up against it as, again, we're down to the final 4, so any final thoughts? And I guess I'll go first. I'll be Ricky Henderson and lead off. But once again, we just want to say to Vince Young, thoughts and prayers. God does not give his strongest soldiers anything that they can't bear. You are one tough individual. You will get through this, but you don't have to get through this alone. And once again, anything that you can give to help Vince in his recovery, it's on the screen. Please give what you can. Give from your heart. All proceeds are going to helping him in his recovery. Once again, we want to say that we dedicate this episode to Vince. We haven't forgot about you. We love you. We're praying for you. God is able, my friend.
For me, whatever God gets you to, he'll get you through. So prayers up for him. V, when you get a chance, reach out, but I'm going to try to get out there and see you, man, because I know how hard it is to sit in a bed and wait for people to come in and see you. So I want to make sure that the love is given in person rather than just us talking about it. So I want to get out there and see him, make sure my boy's doing all right.
All right, so while we're on that subject, the family asked that people not come by without getting pre-approval from the sisters first, so just make sure you tap in with them before you just head on down there, because apparently Vince is so excited to see everybody. His blood pressure goes through the roof when they come in the room, so just be mindful of that. Make sure you check in. I'm going to try to get down there on Friday myself, so that's the plan for me, and shout out to Vince and the family, and shout out to Mark Gray, man. That guy, every time somebody is really in need and he knows about it, he is the one who's making all the calls in the back end, getting everything set up, getting the GoFundMe set up, making sure everybody's got their stuff together, putting it in the chats. So Mark Gray, you're a good dude, man. Glad to have you in the league. Really appreciate who you are, and glad you're one of our top guys.
Bay Area stand up. He's from the Bay like me.
How do you think the Sick-Witted name came?
Exactly. Bay Area stand up.
Oh, man. And Mark is not just a good dude, he's a really, really good dude. He also reached out to me after he found out what happened with my mom. So I appreciate you, bro. I'll always be here for you, just like I've always said with any of the guys in the A7FL. If you got a problem, if there's things that are bothering you, you need to talk to somebody, please reach out. I don't want to hear about anybody being hurt or, having other thoughts because of whatever's going on in their life. We all have people we need to talk to, and, put the football aside and all the manly stuff that we talk about all the time. And we all have feelings. We all go through problems. Dude, don't be afraid to face that. And if you are, give me a call, man. I'll be more than happy to help out.
That's what's up. I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to the Insomniacs management crew. I've been talking to those guys on a daily basis, getting this trip set. Their organization and the organizational skills and the way they delivered on all the things I asked for them to do. Jason, James, Stevie, you guys have been fantastic. Scott, too, Scooter. I asked him to give me lists. The list came over in a nice, organized Excel spreadsheet with filters and pull-down menus and shit. I'm like, that's like I would do it. I love this. And then they had a drop down below. These are the people who aren't making it, and here's the coaches and staff. And I really appreciate that. All the IDs came over right. It's a beautiful thing. It was a tedious task to try to buy airplane flights for 34 people and then take care of the people who weren't part of their group. Excuse me. So I really appreciate their making their part as easy as possible. And Eric, I wish your parents would have named you something different. That cost me a lot of money to fix your name 3 times, Don. With my name being Derek, I'd mess that up like every time I tried to type it out. Like my mind would not make the right connection. D's a good dude, but anyway, so that's what I had. Thank you, everybody, for everything you've done. I'm looking forward to a fantastic weekend. I cannot wait to spend the weekend with the Insomniacs and have a good time. Show them what they mean to me, and show Ohio what we mean to them.
Yes, and that's a good way to put it. Very politically correct to put it that way, but I'm also looking forward to spending some time with the Insomniacs and getting to know the guys a little bit more on a personal level rather than just football. Because, we talk football every time they come in, but it'd be nice to talk a little bit more with everybody about family and what their hopes are and what they're looking forward to. So looking forward to that.
Being a genuine, decent human being is rare these days. And if you have people like that in your life, hold on to them, cherish them, but also, if they have advice to give, take it. Because they lived. And they're trying to make sure you don't go down the same road they went through. Because everybody's story in life is a testimony. And your testimony, whether you know it or not, whether they never tell you or not, your testimony will help save somebody else's life. Just remember that. Life is just a testimony. Your life is just a story that's going to help and save somebody else's life. So with that said, our special thanks to Quan as always. Special thanks to our producer, Nick Blaze. Casey Cox will return next week to give his demands with this challenge with Matt Ryan. For the Viking in his absence, for Mr. Duncan, for Mr. Vera, I'm Steve Rogers. Just kidding. Double A Anthony Alvarez filling in for Casey Cox. Thank you for watching. Vince, we love you. We're praying for you. And we'll see you on the other side of the ball.
What's up, Peanut?
Peace.